Welcome to Slash Bash, where today I am bringing you another pro-revenge Reddit video. In our first story, I reported my former landlord to the IRS for tax fraud. Let's jump right in. I'm glad he lost his flipping house. I found this guy on Craigslist a few years ago. I like renting condos from private owners as opposed to renting apartments. Typically, by renting a condo, it's safer, you have more caring residents, you get to have a luxury apartment-style home with all the amenities, and you can negotiate pricing, etc. I'm an excellent tenant, and anyone who I have ever rented from will tell you that. I paid a $1,000 deposit to move into this guy's condo. I was on a year lease. He lives in another state, but we were on the same time zone. On month 8 of my lease, I came home to a door that wouldn't open. I couldn't get the door unlocked for crap. I had 2 keys on me. As much as I tried to turn them, I couldn't. One of the keys even broke in the lock. I waited 2 hours, I called, texted, and emailed my landlord, and he did not pick up. I thought maybe he had someone to change the locks for some reason. I honestly didn't know what to think and had no one to help me. The lady who lived across from me saw me in distress as she was going into her apartment. I had never seen her, but she asked me if I was okay, and I explained to her that I couldn't get into the apartment. She told me that she knows of an on-call locksmith. She gives me his number. I tell her thanks and reach out to my landlord a few more times, no response. I had no choice but to call the locksmith, plus I had to pee like crap. The locksmith arrives and could not get the door unlocked with my key. He says he could replace the lock for like $100. I told him I was renting a condo and couldn't get in touch with the owner and didn't know when would be the next time I could get in touch with him. After he took the lock off, he told me it was faulty, so he replaced the lock. I told the landlord this via email and text and voicemail and told him that I could send him copies of the keys if he wanted. Okay, so fast forward to the end of my lease. I demand that he does a walkthrough with me. He says he wouldn't. I told him that if he didn't do a walkthrough, I would be notifying the condo office, as he did not have permission to sublease by the association. He then had a friend to serve as his proxy to come meet me and walk through the unit. The place was spotless. I know how to clean. I took multiple photos and videos and showed his proxy, who is a police officer, the unit. Actually, they are both police officers who used to work together. We both literally tested all the appliances, faucets, checked the blinds, carpets, hardwood, everything. His proxy gave me the okay and said that everything looked great. I gave his proxy the keys and later that night left for my new city. So fast forward to a month later, I haven't heard from him about my deposit. He ignored all my emails and phone calls. He finally gets back with me 2 months after I moved out and has all this ridiculous made-up crap about how I damaged his unit. Broken blinds, scratches on the hardwood floor. He made it seem like I damaged his door by getting the lock replaced. He said there were scratches on the outside of his door, rust here and there, broken dishwasher, broken sink, oven was broken dryer. Shake my flipping head. Just all flipping lies. I would never leave a unit in that condition. He sent me an itemized list of all the charges that magically came out to be $1,000, the same as my deposit. He was always planning to keep my money. He wanted that money to either ball on it or upgrade his condo. I hated him. I decided I wasn't going to go to court because I had moved to a different state and live alone, but I thought of something. He rented to me under the table and likely didn't claim my rent payments as earned income. I had all my wire transfers on my bank statement. I had his routing and account number and a copy of his driver's license, as we agreed to swap IDs when I signed the lease to make sure I wasn't getting scammed. I found his out-of-state address online, gathered all my bank statements, gathered his bank account numbers, and made a report with the IRS. About a few years later, I check up on things and that bastard lost his condo and lost everything he owned in bankruptcy. I paid for and downloaded his court records and saw proof that he lost everything, including his condo and cars, and had his bank account seized. I'm not sure if he went to jail or anything, but I'm so glad that bastard got his flipping karma. He stole money from me that I gave him to rent a condo, and he ends up losing that same condo to bankruptcy. Flip him and anyone who calls him a friend. He can rot for all I care. Story number 2. Scammers stole $15,000 from me, so I shut them down. I was scammed when I was trying to sell my timeshare. I know I should have been more careful. And after paying them $15,000, I was trying to get back at least some of my money. The person I was talking to said I would receive a full refund, but never received anything. I contacted the Attorney General in the state they said they were in and was told they could not reach them. So the next time I talked to them, I conferenced in the person from Consumer Complaints, and she was able to talk with him, but he just gave her double talk on why there were so many complaints. So I started a plan. The Revenge. I work in high tech, and I went to their website and copied every screen they had and made my own with the word scammer in big red letters across the page. After I had all the pages created, I created my own site with the same name as this, except mine had the word scam at the end. I used a popular web hosting site to create my website and published it using my domain name. It cost me $90 for 1 year. I even had other people who were scammed by them contact me on my website. I tested my website using other computers by Googling their name, and my website showed up right under theirs. So anyone who Googled their name would see the scammer site and mine next to each other. It took about 3 months and their website was taken down. Another 3 months and their phone number was disconnected. So I basically put them out of business because they would not refund me my money. I would have been happy with $5,000 refunded and consider the $10,000 a lesson learned. Still do not know what happened to them, but about 1 year later I got a call from another company somewhere else, but it had the exact same setup. I just ignored them. Lesson learned. Story number 3, $10 and a pencil. A post I made in another subreddit reminded me of this one. Enjoy. A few years ago, after changing jobs, I found myself in a new office with a new phone number. After some orientation, training, and other new hire stuff, I finally get to sit down and do the things. I get my voicemail and answering machine set up the email, and the phone rings. Good morning, Railroad Engineering. Yeah, when can I take the GED test? Sorry, wrong number. Click. The phone rings again. Seriously, when can I take the GED test? Like I said, wrong number. Bye. This went on for weeks, 15 to 20 calls a day. People screaming at me for not being the adult learning center. One day, an epiphany. This isn't the adult learning center? Nope. Do you know the number? Check Google. I did. This is the number on their website. Oh, really? A little Google foo of my own, and I dig up a few numbers and give them a call. They tell me that they don't maintain their website and there's nothing they can do about it, and it's not their problem. I'm just going to have to deal with it. My favorite line of that conversation was, "What are you gonna do about it? I work for the state. You can't do crap. Bye-bye." And you can imagine that bye-bye just dripping with a condensation that only hubris and decades of Karenhood can muster. Oh, hell no. Let's dance. The next day, good morning, Railroad. When can I take the GED test? We give that on request. It takes about an hour and a half. Come on down. Oh, awesome. How much is it? $10. Bring a pencil. We'll sharpen yours, but we can't supply them. Budget cuts, you know. Nah, I get it. See you in a bit. Take your time. They don't like me telling you this, but if you get here before we close, they have to give you the test. See you when you get here. Thanks, man. See you later. Now, for those of you who don't know, the GED test takes a whole day. It also usually costs upward of $100 depending on the state. In the state I was living and working at the time, it was around $200. As such, it was only offered at certain intervals. So, as I was telling dozens of people per day that it was $10, took 90 minutes and offered on request, I'm sure that they were absolutely inundated with angry people with freshly sharpened number 2 pencils, waving their $10 bills and demanding the test that the guy on the phone told them they could come and take. Every morning I checked the website to see if my phone number was still on there. I also took the liberty of crawling around and getting the phone numbers for some managers. I was happy to hand these out when people called back to complain that they hadn't been allowed to take the test. Head back down there and ask to speak to random director and tell them that they called the number on the website and this is what they were told. It took them about 6 more weeks to change the website, and for some reason, all of the managers' numbers disappeared from the website as well. This is John from /bash. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed the video and want to be the first to know when the next one drops, subscribe and click on the notifications bell. We would love for you to drop a like, share it with your friends, and we will see you in the next one.